The film is about this praying mom who like legit prays to God, and her son comes back from the dead. Talk to us a little bit about the power of prayer. Well, I'll get from both of you, so Lecrae, if you want to kick it off.
Man, you know, I didn't. Prayer is very powerful. I think, you know, I tell my kids all the time. I say, you know, if you're worrying, you sinning. If you're praying, you winning. You know what I mean? And just this a reminder to them, like, prayer is dependency. It's like saying, I don't have it all under control. And it's kind of relinquishing your helplessness and saying, there's nothing I can do. And I think a lot of times we wait until we're really like helpless, and we shouldn't. But you know, that's what ends up happening. A lot of times we get in these circumstances where we're reminded, like, oh, I have no power, and prayer is that firepower. You know.
Yeah, it's cool in the Bible. You see, especially a lot in the Old Testament, these stories of these people with faith crying out to God, and literally, it's like moving God's heart to action. You know what I mean? Which is a crazy thing to think about. But God save us. You know, God. You know, all the over and over, you see like the people of God, the Israelites, right? Like rebelling and forgetting God, and then they get taken into captivity. Then someone cries out, "Save us!" And He says, "I hear your cry. I'm going to go save you." You know, and so many stories of God saying, "I'm going to hear your cry. I'm going to answer you." And we still believe that same God who parts the seas and shut the mouths of the lions and helped that little boy kill that giant. Like He's still making giants fall in lives today. You know, and I know so many stories. Yeah, I feel like I'm a direct result of prayer from my grandparents and my parents praying for me, you know? And so I just think it's a beautiful thing. God really, it's not just a cool exercise to get our minds on holy things, but God is listening to us. And coming to Him in faith like that is pretty beautiful and powerful.
This film will be out in 2019. And, you know, I feel like already the world is in a place where, you know, people are doubting. The generations we feel like are going to become more faithless as we go. And, you know, I hear a story like this. I mean, Devon spoke earlier and literally had us fired up because of how miraculous this is and just how it all happened. Talk a little bit about the importance of a miracle and a story like this being told in times like these where people are restless and feel hopeless.
Yeah, I think, you know, specifically like in the Western world, we're in a PostChristian era, right? So I think a lot of times we forget like our faith has survived for thousands of years. It's just that here in the West, you know, North America and Europe and whatnot, it's post. It's like, oh, we're over that now. You know, we're more progressive with science and so on and so forth. But you take a trip to Africa, you take a trip to China, it's thriving.
It's crazy.
It's on fire right now, right? And so that's the reminder that, no, God is not irrelevant. It's just like we forget. He doesn't. You know, we become unfaithful. He's still faithful, and He's going to use whoever wants to acknowledge Him to do whatever it is He wants done. So, you know, it's a reminder for us here. It's almost like we are going to become the new mission field, you know what I'm saying, for the world. And this films like this, to remind us, like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So,
You know, there's a difference between like a Christian culture and a person that really follows Jesus.
You're right.
You know what I mean? And there's something almost, and don't take it wrong, there's something almost exciting about like being in a culture that finally recognizes, like, you know what, like I'm not gonna be a Christian because my grandma likes it when I say that. It's like, hey, I don't believe, or I do believe. And I think because once people once there's truth out there and people own up to where they stand, I think once they actually, instead of saying, yeah, I'm a Christian and you don't have to tell me about Jesus, they almost closed off to hearing the real truth that they never heard before. So something about it's like, in some ways, like paving the way for something beautiful to happen, I think, in our country once again, rather than saying I'm a Christian because I'm an American or something, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, so.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. I can't wait to see the film.